Nobody wins when the family feels.
It's been horrible. It's been hell.
Levita Pettigrew's son, Jamil, was shot and killed on the 4th of July on his way home from being with friends. It's the 4th teenager killed in Fort Dodge since the beginning of May.
He should be burying me. I shouldn't have to bury my child.
This morning, it's gone.
And they just destroyed it all. Not 1 day, but 2 days.
She says other memorials in the area have been left untouched. Levita believes her son's death is being treated differently because Jamil is the brother of DJ Pettigrew, the suspect in a May shooting in Fort Dodge.
My son being involved with something and that happened to be his brother, they just disregarded my kid. They may have the same last name and they may have the same bloodline, but that doesn't mean that they're both bad kids.
Police in Fort Dodge are searching for a teenager they say shot 2 people, killing 1 last night. 17-year-old Devonquay Pettigrew is now wanted on first-degree murder charges.
Investigators are asking anyone who knows where he is to come forward. KCCI's Bo Bowman has been following this investigation.
Second teenager shot and killed here in Fort Dodge so far this month. Fort Dodge police say it's frustrating and it'll take the entire community coming together to put an end to it. You can see the heartbreak among Adrian Grover's friends and families in the flowers and stuffed animals set up here, where the 18-year-old was shot and killed Saturday morning.
This can't be just solved by a police department.
Fort Dodge Police Chief Dennis Quinn says it's not a problem unique to the city, but it is growing.
Seeing things like this when it happens at all is terrible, but when it starts to involve youth, you see the impact that it has on families and community.
Police have already arrested 18-year-old Quantarius Altman, charged in the killing of Grover. But they still haven't caught 17-year-old Devonquay Pettigrew. The teen Fort Dodge police say killed 18-year-old Patrick Walker less than 2 weeks ago.
Who is it to blame, family? The parents or the kids? We have a mother that lost both of her kids in the span of 30 days. One in jail and one in gun violence. Now it seems the younger brother had lost his life in retaliation due to actions that the older brother did that we'll later discuss. Which leads to the first question. Who need to be held responsible the most? The parents or the kids? Despite may not never having a concrete answer, what we do know is all actions have reactions. And unfortunately, according to authorities, the oldest brother's actions led to his little brother losing his life. So before we break this one down, remember family, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. Family, today we're going to Fort Dodge, Iowa. Almost 3 months ago, police were searching for a 17-year-old murder suspect following a shooting in Fort Dodge Tuesday night that took the life of one person. The Fort Dodge Police Department said an arrest warrant on one charge of first-degree M1 has been issued for Daquan Jason Pettigrew, who is also known as DJ. He was described as 5'8", weighed about 130 pounds. Police say he was considered armed and dangerous. The charge stemmed from a shooting that happened at around 7:10 p.m. It was a Tuesday. That's when multiple 911 calls came in about shots fired in the area of the 100 block of North 10th Street. When police got to the scene, officers arrived and found an unresponsive male on the sidewalk in front of 126 North 10th Street. Though life-saving measures were started, immediately the victim had passed away, may he rest in peace. He was later identified as an 18-year-old man that go by the name of Patrick Walker of Fort Dodge. While investigators were processing the scene, 20-year-old Silas Hall showed up to Unity Point Trinity Regional Hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say his injuries do not appear to be life-threatening. He was only 17, but during the investigation, police were able to identify Pettigrew as a suspect in the shooting. Because the charge of first-degree M1 is a forcible felony, Pettigrew is automatically charged as an adult in the case.
Police in Fort Dodge are searching for a teenager they say shot 2 people, killing 1 last night. 17-year-old Devonquay Pettigrew is now wanted on first-degree murder charges.
Investigators are asking anyone who knows where he is to come forward. KCCI's Bo Bowman has been following this investigation, and Bo, community leaders there say something needs to change.
That's right, Eric. Both the chief of police and the executive director of Athletics for Education and Success in Fort Dodge say this is a trend they only see going up and need to get the guns out of kids' hands.
It's kind of a punch to the stomach. It takes a little bit of air out of you, takes a little bit of wind out of you.
That's how Charles Clayton says he felt when he heard of the shooting Tuesday night in downtown Fort Dodge, where police say 18-year-old Patrick Walker was killed and 20-year-old Silas Hall took a bullet to the leg. Clayton is the founder of Athletics for Education and Success, a group dedicated to creating resources, activities, and sports programs for at-risk youth.
We got to find a way to keep these youth entertained, active, busy.
He says he knew all three that were involved in the shooting, but they were never part of his program.
Makes me think and wake up at night and not sleep is how can I get more kids involved? How can we get more of them through the doors and active and doing something positive?
Quite a bit of this kind of violence, unfortunately, with juveniles, and that that age range can range just about anywhere right now.
Fort Dodge Police Chief Dennis Quinn says they're still searching for the shooter. An arrest warrant has been issued for 17-year-old Devonquay Pettigrew for first-degree murder.
Even if you're not related, if you have a good heart, you're going to feel the same.
Anthony Shivers is here visiting his nephew, the surviving victim who lives in the apartment building near the crime scene. He says there needs to be more done to reach out to the youth in Fort Dodge.
We just need to start educating our kids a little bit more about violence and, and all these bad things that's going on.
Police say Pettigrew should be considered armed and dangerous. If you know where he might be, they ask you contact the Fort Dodge Police Department.
Pettigrew was later apprehended weeks later. But weeks after that, Fort Dodge police believe the shooting death of a 15-year-old on the 4th of July was a case of retaliation. The first suspect, little brother, Jamil Pettigrew of Fort Dodge, life was taken Tuesday in the latest act of violence in the Webster County town of about 25,000 people. The suspect was later identified as JJ, Jamarian James Davis. He was charged with first degree and won. Davis was arrested Thursday in Fort Dodge. Now, according to authorities, the guy who lost his life in May by Pettigrew's older brother is a close friend to Davis. Davis found out who Pettigrew's little brother was and took matters into his own hands.
It's been horrible. It's been hell.
Levita Pettigrew's son Jamil was shot and killed on the 4th of July on his way home from being with friends. It's the 4th teenager killed in Fort Dodge since the beginning of May.
He should be burying me. I shouldn't have to bury my child.
Every day since his death, family and friends have put together a memorial for Jamil where he was murdered. But each morning, it's gone.
And they just destroyed it all. Not one day, but 2 days.
She says other memorials in the area have been left untouched. KCCI found out it was the city that was removing the memorial. We asked why.
It has everything to do with location. The fact that there was memorials attached to a stop sign, the fact that it is in the right-of-way, right next to a busy intersection, made it a hazard.
Levita believes her son's death is being treated differently because Jamil is the brother of DJ Pettigrew, the suspect in a May shooting in Fort Dodge.
My son being involved with something and that happened to be his brother, they just disregarded my kid. They may have the same last name, and they may have the same bloodline, but that doesn't mean that they're both bad kids.
The city has kept the items from the memorial, 2 cardboard boxes full of flowers, balloons, and candles. Just this morning, the city says they returned the items to a close family member.
I feel bad, and I actually apologize if I created any more emotional difficulty with what you're going through right now, but we have to be careful and maintain safety, and we'll work with you on wherever we can put the stuff that is also safe.
I'm not going to let them make me choose somewhere else. We're going to keep that same spot, but we don't have to use that stop sign.
Levita wants justice for her son.
We're going to go above and beyond to get my son's name out there to make sure that everybody knows, if they don't know already, that we're going to get justice for my son.
A community candlelight vigil will be held for Jamil tonight at 8 o'clock at a local nonprofit here in town. In Fort Dodge, Ophelia Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
And the suspect in the latest shooting is now in police custody. This man, Jamarian James JJ Davis, faces a first-degree murder charge. Police say he tried to run away from officers as they tried to search a house in Fort Dodge. Court documents say this week's murder appears to be in retaliation of a May murder. Police say on May 2nd, Devonquay Pettigrew shot and killed 18-year-old Patrick Walker. Pettigrew is the older brother of Jamil Redding Pettigrew, the 15-year-old killed this week in Fort Dodge. Officers say when Davis found out the two were related, he found and shot Redding Pettigrew. And the city of Fort Dodge sent out a letter to community residents after Tuesday's shooting. The city says it will continue to engage with residents and find solutions. The mayor, city manager, police chief all signed that letter. They say Fort Dodge is a safe community and, quote, "We can't let the actions of a few define who we are."
We did an alarming amount of videos about people's actions affecting the ones they love the most. Family, I gotta know though, who you guys feel held responsible. At the end of the day, we gotta keep in mind, if we doing something wrong, it may not affect us at the moment physically, but it can affect someone we love the most. As we wrap it up, we do want to say once again, rest in peace to the victims and loving condolences to the family. Fam, that was the story of an Iowa young man being gunned down based on the actions of his big brother. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, I'll catch you guys on the next one.